The message popped up on my phone at 7 a.m., glowing like a neon punch to the gut. "We're keeping Christmas family, only this year, no place for losers." I stared at it for a long time, trying to process the words. My stomach churned, a mix of disbelief, hurt, and anger. Family, my own blood, had called me a loser and decided I wasn't worthy of being part of their holiday. I wanted to reply, to yell, to cry, but nothing came out. Instead, I threw my phone across the room and sank to the floor, letting the silence swallow me. For years, I had quietly struggled with feeling invisible, battling insecurities, and trying to carve a life that didn't seem to impress anyone in my family. They were the type who measured worth in success, money, and prestige, and well, I hadn't arrived by their standards, but nothing in their words would break me the way they thought it would. Instead, that message lit a fire in me, a quiet, relentless determination. The first few days were the hardest. Christmas was everywhere, lights twinkling in windows, carols floating through the streets, social media exploding with family gatherings. I felt like I was on the outside of the world, a shadow no one cared to notice. My friends tried to cheer me up, inviting me to small celebrations, but it wasn't the same. I wanted my family to see me, not for my wealth or accomplishments, but for the person I was. It wasn't until I sat down with a notebook and began to write my feelings out that the healing started. I listed every failure they had ever pointed out, every insult and cold comment, and then, one by one, I crossed them off, not because they were untrue, but because I refused to let them define me anymore. That exercise wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming myself. I decided I wasn't going to sit in silence anymore. I poured myself into work I loved, into helping people who genuinely appreciated me, and into building a life I could be proud of. Slowly, doors started opening. Projects I'd been told I wasn't capable of began to succeed. I started volunteering at local shelters during the holidays, sharing warmth and food with people who truly needed it. In their gratitude and smiles, I found a sense of family that was real and unconditional. Months passed, and my life began to take shape in a way that surprised even me. I wasn't defined by their narrow expectations. I wasn't a loser. I was resilient. I was capable. I was creating joy where it mattered. When Christmas rolled around again the following year, I received a tentative message from one of my cousins. "We miss you at family Christmas. Maybe you could come this year." I stared at it, feeling a strange mixture of amusement and pity. Instead of replying, I walked into my own celebration, a small gathering of friends, neighbors, and the people I had helped throughout the year. There was laughter, warmth, and a feeling of belonging that my family's house had never offered me. I raised a glass and realized that the quiet revenge I had been seeking wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about living fully, unapologetically, and joyfully. Watching my life flourish without them was a sweeter victory than any words could convey. That night, as the snow fell gently outside, I thought about my family and their cruel message. They had wanted to hurt me, but in trying to cut me out, they had only forced me to grow stronger, kinder, and more self-assured. The message I would have sent them if I had replied would have been unnecessary. I was no longer seeking validation from people who couldn't see my worth. My life itself had become my answer, a quiet, unwavering testament that no insult could ever define me again. The lesson I carry with me is simple but powerful. People may try to write your story for you, but you hold the pen. The people who tried to cut me out never realized that their exclusion gave me something more valuable than acceptance. It gave me strength, clarity, and a family I chose for myself. And on that Christmas, surrounded by love, laughter, and hope, I finally understood. Sometimes the greatest revenge is living beautifully without them.